Okay, recording this video on Saturday, the 1st of March 2025, just gone 2:50 p.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend and time for another weekend futures market recap. We'll go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I'll show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was a super important day on Friday starting 12:30 p.m. Important things to talk about this weekend. First of all, I think it's done on the downside. We've had 7 trading days of weakness and we've now reached important levels, and 12:30 on Friday was super important. We bounced super hard, and I'm going to show you that, particularly on the 13,500 tip bar chart, and I'm going to show you the blue professional bars. I don't know, I keep on going on and on and on about this, but this is, I suppose, my contribution to the trading world is measuring the average trade size. I don't think anybody's done it in as much depth as I have over the last, 15 years probably. And to say, follow the professionals. When you see the average trade size bump up on the higher time frame charts, that's when the professionals are active and you need to interpret what are they doing. And on Friday at midday, they came in at, what was the level? 58.48, I think it was, low being made. And we'll show you that on the shorter time frame charts and also a little bit of a video that I recorded during Friday's session as well. Also going to introduce you to a couple of indicators. The core principles never change. They're about measuring price, volume, and average trade size. So the three major indicators: better sine wave, better momentum, better pram. Nothing's changing around the measurements of cycles, volume, momentum, and average trade size. But there are different ways of presenting that information and drawing out information on charts that make it easier to interpret what is going on, to give you confidence of good signals and when to trade, when not to trade. So there's a refinement on better pro-am that I'm calling better squeeze that I'm going to show you in a couple of charts today, so you might be interested in that. Probably going to release it in some format because it just helps with the interpretation, and that's all we're doing. It's like we're not changing the better indicators in any fundamental way. No, it is just making the information on the chart more easy to interpret and see when the important changes happen, and that happened on the 13,500 tip bar chart on the turn on Friday. But anyway, so let us go to the Emini charts first. We'll start with the daily, go all the way down to the tip bar charts, and then we'll go through 15 futures markets. And I just see setups everywhere. There are 2/3 of the futures markets are all setting up for turns, so I think this is a really important, fascinating time to be trading. The ranges have been massive over the last week and a half, and that's good for some people, not so good for others. It means when you're winning, you win big, but when you're losing, you lose big as well. So I hope everybody's gotten the right side of a lot of these markets this week. So daily chart, the left hand side, this is the combo trend indicator. The background is in red. That means we're in an uptrend. Price and volume are in confluence. They're both showing an uptrend. Even with the large activity that we had this week, we didn't see a blue professional bar pop up on the daily chart. A little bit surprising to me. Let's see if that changes in the next couple of days, but it's nothing there. And you see, even with the price destruction that we had on leading up to Friday, better sine wave kept the bars red. So we're still in an uptrend. We haven't broken supports on the daily time frame. The downtrend that we've had came in because of the resistance that we had in 2 time frames, the low and the intermediate time frames. Then it was a pullback to end of trend signal on the intermediate time frame here. So that's why we had the weakness last weekend. Talked about, I was a little bit down in the dumps because I was saying this is going to be down, this is going to be hard, because long equities, longer term positions, and it's sad to see gains that you've had develop over the last 2-3 years be taken away. And I was worried about how big that downtrend move would be, but top to bottom I think this retraces 5%. It's not a big deal really, and I think Friday's move is important. The next leg is going to be up, I believe. I'll show you that on the charts. You can agree or disagree with me, and we'll find out in the next few days whether that was a good call or not. And we are in due for some strength because on the lowest time frame chart here we've had a cyclical cross go on, and we're just looking for price confirmation, which will put in a low at Friday's low there, and then we'll get a little bit of strength. It's not double support coming on the intermediate time frame. Let's wait and see. You can see on the other time frames where those supports are starting to come in, but certainly for the time being the next little flush is going to be to the upside. So in terms of price and better sine wave, we're in an uptrend even with this weakness. we're still showing red bars there until we break supports. We're not technically in a downtrend on this highest time frame chart. Okay, 135-minute chart. There are exactly 3 135-minute bars on a day session of the E-mini. And this is the level that I was concerned about last weekend, which is 59.50, and we broke 100 points past that. And I was saying with last weekend, it's like we only had, I think it was 80 points of difference here. And where was that going to lead to? Was it going to break this level and all of a sudden turn this into a serious move on the downside? And you can see all the bars are blue, so a lot of high average trade size coming in. And when you look at this in a bigger picture, you can see the blue professional bars coming on the way down, on the way down, on the way down, on the way down. There are no blue professional bars at the highs. Blue professional bars at the highs are taking profits, and the market commentaria are just saying the end is nigh, the US economy is done for, the debt is out of control, there's no way of fixing the deficit, blah blah blah, the stock market will sell off and so on. Markets top when there is euphoria, when everybody is jumping into stocks, and the professionals start taking profits when they see that euphoria. What we're seeing is the reverse. We're getting people scared out of stocks because of the negative news. So it's the psychology that's more important rather than the fundamentals. We'll see if I'm right. The 48 level down here, 58.48 as the low marks here, and I think we're going to have another shot at 6,200. But there'll be up and down days, there'll be up and down moves along the way. But for me, this is important. And the momentum reading was super important as well. Even with the destruction that we had Thursday into Friday, the momentum read was a higher low. So the exhaustion sell was down here. We had a bullish divergence pattern here, close to the zero line. So I say, wait for flush. There's the flush pattern happening here, flushing out the last of the sellers. And then with this move down here, even with price going lower than these points here, the volume momentum, this is where price momentum and volume momentum, I measure volume momentum because for me that's more important. It's not the price momentum that matters, and typical momentum indicators are based on price. So volume momentum, that's why we have better momentum, is I think a stronger signal of what is actually going on in the market. So even though the price was lower than these lows down here, the volume momentum was weaker, was not as strong to the downside. So we have a higher low. Bang, bang, bang. So that's important. 45-minute chart. Here we go. We start to see all of the blue professional bars coming in here, similar to the sell-off that we had here with an exhaustion sell on the 45-minute chart. The background's in blue and the bars are blue. That means we have big pro bars. That's super high average trade size come in. So that's more important than lows that are made with here, blue professional bars here and here and here and so on. So this is the super high average trade size. So that's really important. Also coming in with exhaustion sell. I actually like this for a signal as a reversal. I've tried over the years to code something. I've never stuck with it. But when you get the background in blue and the exhaustion pattern in blue, and then you have an immediate reversal on price, you get strong moves from there. It's a freaking out. It's like exhaustion selling, and it's triggering all of the professionals to step in size, catch the market, and when it reverses quickly, goes the other way, it's a spike V down type move. So when you get blue professional bars, backgrounds in blue, and the exhaustion blue bars all come in, it's a spike reversal. Catches low, we move up from there. Now, will it hold? Who knows? But for the time being, that's an important level, and we're going to have momentum from that feeds on. Yes, on the better sine wave chart here, we haven't had cyclical support come in. The bars are still wide. It's a pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame here. We've overshot support on the intermediate time frame. We'll probably have to put in some moves up and down in order to put in a resistance to support on this time frame. But at some point, we need this support in the highest time frame to come in here, because we did overshoot these supports on the low and the intermediate, so we've still got to put in some testing until everything tightens up and we're just bouncing off supports resistance instead of slicing through them like this. So that's still to be done on the 45-minute chart. So it'll be choppy. 15-minute chart. Here we got the vertical yellow solid lines showing us the ends of the week. So this is why last weekend I was a little bit depressed, because I could see this. We've got a sign of weakness going on here. We've had our exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We're rolling over into a downtrend. That was a nasty day on Friday, and it was likely to continue until we saw the reverse. We needed to see the mirror image of this exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. This is exhaustion buy getting the move going. This one here, after the lows have been made just there, that's anxiousness to buy the highs, but then we run out of puff. come back up, make a bearish divergence. We got a divergence pattern here, better momentum, less buying at those highs, and then we dropped to the downside. And now what we had was exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, nice signal there, flush pattern. Price hasn't confirmed with that, but the volume momentum down here was getting played out. We'd had the exhaustion move, we'd had the divergence move, the flush move, flushing out the last of the sellers, and there's the blue professional bars, super high average trade size. Blue professional bars, backgrounds in blue, super high average trade size come in. And look at momentum. Momentum during that activity down here at those lows was just fussing around the zero line, and we took off to the upside. That's one of the strongest rallies we've seen for the last 2 hours of trade. That was recognizing that the low is in, that was short covering rally going on. There's all kinds of excitement going on. Pushed right to the close, and I had no idea it was going to go. Those last 20 minutes or so was 20-30 minutes were unbelievable that we pushed into those highs. But that's what was going on. Down at the lows, momentum was weak. That was around the zero line. There was no more selling to be had. The professionals had stepped in and then they pushed it higher. So a 15-minute chart, super important. Now, 13,500 tip bar chart. And this is where on the Better Prime chart I'm going to introduce some more concepts. But let us look first of all at Better Sine Wave here. So the market topped out. All these signs of weakness at the highs. Down here we were in a downtrend from last week. Let me just push a little bit further so you can see there. We had our pullback to end of trends on the intermediate time frame, second cyclical turn after end of trend, which is a place where we can have a change in trend. We had all of these signs of weakness, bang, 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 and then we dropped at big things happen at triples. So we had triple supports all in one spot. That's the first spot that we had. And big things happen at triples, big bounces, big breaks, and we had a big break into a downtrend, bang. Now, the low was formed again by pullback to end of trend. So first level down at 59.58, so it was 100 points above where we actually got to. Down here was made pullback to end of trend. You can see all the end of trends coming together here. Didn't hold, and we pushed down even further because the professionals not come in at that point. But then the low was made, pull back to end of trend on the lowest time frame, a left shoulder here, pull back to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, slightly thicker lines here. That's the inverted head of this move, and then we start sign of strength comes in here, and we break into a kind of concerted uptrend here. The bars are in red. We're in an uptrend in terms of price. So that's what we needed to do in terms of price. Let me show you this on Better Prime. So this is Better Prime with an overlay. And the overlay is called Better Squeeze, but it's just trying to show a couple of things on these charts. I'm going to switch it off for the time being, and we'll switch it off there. Bang. So this is what you normally see on Better Prime on this chart. The weakness started with the blue professional bars, super high average trade size at these highs, and we fell into a downtrend. The background's in grey. We're in a confirmed downtrend. We have consolidation around this level here. We bounced off a Rambo pattern at the lows at that point here. Rambo to Rambo channel, getting short here. They get wrong-footed. And then at this point here, they've been taken out of their short positions, and they're deciding, oh, the bottom's in, so I'm going long. No, they get wrong-footed at the top there as well. We go through a little bit of a killing fields pattern here. No blue professional bars here, none here, none here. The little blue professional bar that we had there pushing the market up. All of these amateur bars at this point, these are amateurs fussing around, not knowing which way it's going to go. All we're doing is using this area from this low to this high as killing fields, and the professionals are getting short. They're using all of that volatility and that uncertainty to get short. We know that because it eventually breaks through that little local low down here, and we move into another trending moves on the downside. And then we see blue professional bars coming in on the way down. That's the signal. And then we turn into an uptrend, sign of strength, bang, and the market goes on. Now, I'm going to show you this addition, refinement, whatever we like to call it. There we go. And showing us two things. First of all, these blue squares, just isolating where we have blue professional bars making highs or making lows, because that's the signal for the market to change. It's when the professionals are shorting highs, new highs, or when they're buying new lows. That's when the market tops out. What I do is I wait for the next sign of strength or sign of weakness after those blue professional bars. But there they were at the highs. And there's the first sign of weakness that we have on better priam there, and that for me signals confirmed downtrend short. Now the reverse is we have blue professional bars coming in on new lows down here. There's the blue square that comes in to signal that, and then the first sign of strength that we get after that on better priam, bang, that for me is change in trend, signal to go long, keeps us out of the soup, out of the noise around changes in trends. That's why we bottomed. I'll tag on a video that I recorded at the low that was happening, just to show that in real time you can actually identify these turning points. But as my contribution, it's the blue professional bars, it's measuring the average trade size, and also noting that changes in trend happen when those signals, the blue professional bars, come in at new highs and new lows. Now you'll also see there are some cyan boxes going on here, and this is using the better sine wave indicator to show squeezes. This is when the activity tightens up, the support resistance levels are super tight together, and the price activity is close to those support resistance levels, and they're areas where you move into trending moves. So they're nice. I particularly like these ones that come in. We get a consolidation when a trend has already developed, but we have no blue professional bars to say this is reversing or exhaustion patterns or anything like that. We initially have a little bit of a move to the upside, but eventually we break through the low of that box, and that shows us that we're moving into a trending move. So it's consolidation, it's a squeeze that's happening, and here's 3 going on at this point here, and you can see that's the area on the chart. You can see all the support lines and even the resistance lines are super close together. Price activity is super close together at that point, and we're waiting for a break out of that consolidation, that little squeeze pattern happening there, bang, and eventually breaks to the downside, and that was a strong move on the way down there. So there we go. That's not to confuse anybody with these things. They're not radically different from what we've been talking about for some years and years, but it just does highlight that for me, in terms of my analysis of how markets moves and looking at what the professional activity is doing. But I think for me the tenor has changed, and I see this on a whole bunch of other charts as well. We've got lots of setups to look at. So there we go. That also just briefly show you this. So this is the 1500 tip bar chart, and there's the 1230 move, bang. So we had this area, blue square, professionals at the highs, taking profits, going short. We have a sign of weakness, then the signal comes in here. Even through this volatility here, the move isn't done on the downside until we see another blue box here, blue professional bars coming at the lows, not at the absolute lows on the 13,500 tip bar chart, absolute lows, but that's because it's measuring all of the bars in that activity there. The blue box comes in, professionals down here at the lows, and then we're looking for the next sign of strength after that, and there it comes in, bang, at 68. I was in long. Yes, a little bit of a test down here, but trending system didn't change direction. We have a little consolidation. Here we go, these blue cyan blue boxes. You know, we got a consolidation happening there because, is that right? Yes, at this point here we had a confluence of support and resistance lines. We hadn't had blue professional bars taking profits at that point, and we're waiting it to squeeze, and we bust out of that into a trending move, bang, and then ended up at 70. 59.70 for the high for the day, which is an unbelievable move. And all of this activity here, the last 50 points or so, happened in the last 20 minutes of trade. Unbelievable. Okay, now let's talk to tip bar charts. Let's go through the Forex charts first, and we are starting to see the beginnings of some setups here. Let me show you this one first on the euro down here. The euro has gone to pullback to end of trend on the low time frame, pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame here. This is an area where we are likely to start to get a bounce on the euro, but it has not signaled into an uptrend yet because the bars are in white. But in terms of a target down here at 1,350, that's important. And we can also see blue professional bars starting to come in at the lows. We've got exhaustion, sell, bullish divergence, but we haven't changed into an uptrend yet. So during this week on the euro, let's look for that, see if we get a change in trend. British pound on this highest time frame chart here has been the strongest, and I've been talking about this over the last several weeks. The British pound, surprisingly enough, has been the strongest currency and stronger than the euro. And the sell-off that we had in the British pound has only taken us from pullback to end of trend sequence here on the lower time frames to pullback support on the highest time frame here. So this has actually been in a trending move on the way down, where it's weaker on the euros. But this is pullback support in an uptrend happening. We have the blue boxes coming in here. So we got big pro bars coming in. No exhaustion sell down here, but let's see, that could catch getting above 26.10 into an uptrend on British pound. That might be ready to take off early next week, so let's see if we get that. Aussie dollar got destroyed, so from pullback to end of trend here on the highest time frame over the last couple of weeks, topping out at 64. We broke into a downtrend, and bang, down here we've had pullback to end of trend. Blue professional bars coming at 62, and we've traveled quite a long way on the way down, and we're starting to see blue professional bars here. This one is closer to forming a bottom down here. A little bit of a false signal there, but that was a whole bunch of big pro bars coming in here, and this signal, sign of weakness after that, at that point, led to a really strong move on the downside. And we could be, we've got exhaustion sells down here. No, not yet. But anyway, first couple of days of this week for reversals in the currencies would be really interesting to see. Japanese yen. Now, Japanese yen is topping out, and I was talking about this over the last several weeks, saying the strength in the Japanese yen was just showing a weakness in the risk-on assets. And were we going to get a pop like we saw last year? Was it August, September? Unwind of the carry trade, and we certainly had some strength in Japanese yen over the last 2 weeks, but it's topped out. All of these signs of weakness coming at those high there at 67.50, and we're breaking into a downtrend here. Got a little bit of consolidation here with the cyan boxes showing that the support resistance lines super close together. We've broken through those. We're in a trending move on the way down on Japanese yen, so that's important. So in terms of the higher time frame charts, this has been rolling over. So blue professional bars into those highs, and we're rolling over into a downtrend here at this point. We had our signal quite a ways ago, but it's finally coming to work out. So the Japanese yen could be heading down, so that's good for risk assets. 10 years also starting to top out here. So in terms of better sine wave, pull back to end of trend, pull back to end of trend. We're reaching into these highs. Hasn't rolled over yet. First sign of weakness going on there. And the first sign that we've got blue professional bars at the highs. Don't have a blue box yet because this sequence hasn't finished. As soon as we get that sequence over, the blue box will show up there, and yeah, we're overcooked on the 10 years. So again, it's been a nice move from down here. The blue professional bars broken at the lows a week and a half ago. Been a super strong move in 10 years, and that's while we've had this risk off scenario. The 10 years have been doing well. Gold also starting to find support down here. Pull back to end of trends. We overshot these levels. The blue professional bars coming in at those lows. We haven't signaled yet, but let's wait and see if we get a reversal in gold this week. And silver, similar thing. There was the topping out move that we had. I wasn't keen on silver. It was showing more weakness than gold, and eventually it fell even further this week. Nasty move from 33 down to 31.50 down here, but the blue professional bars have come in. All these exhaustion patterns happening down here. It's not broken into an uptrend yet, but that could be interesting. Bitcoin has started to rally, followed equities. I don't know if it led or didn't on the low being made. Yeah, probably led equities at the low. Down here, nasty collapse from up here. But here are our signs of weakness happening. Blue professional bars at the highs, signs of weakness, bang, move into a big downtrend, pull back to end of trend on the highest time frame. We've had a signal down here. Now, the thing I don't like about this is the blue professional bars were well away up here at 94. They weren't absolutely at the lows. They were certainly active down here, but not blue professional down bars. We didn't get a signal like this down at those absolute lows, but the market rallied whatever. So risk on at the moment. We've had a little stair-step trade, so on that weakness to 84, seemingly that's hold. We're busting up through 85, so risk on. Bitcoin is doing well. Crude started to rally already, so this week's activity, we bottomed in crude. Last weekend I was saying maybe we could have some strength in crude. We got that for a day and a half, and then it weakened and we kept on going down. So now we put in more of a bottom. We've had signal down here, blue professional bars coming at the lows, and a stair-step trade here, but we need to make it back up through those highs. So let's see if we get that continuation of an uptrend on crude. Natural gas, sorry, keeping going down and down. So it topped out here at 430, blue professional up bars into those highs. Tested with a little squeeze, and then we broke into a downtrend, and the blue professional bars weren't active on the way down here, they were active on the way up. Exhaustion by bearish divergence, and we weakened from there, so still in a strong downtrend on crude. Copper very volatile this week. We had this low being made and we ramped, and then it just gave way. It's come back to test that level, which is interesting. So let's see if we get some blue professional bars following on in copper. And then the ags got destroyed this week. This is at the beginning of the week. Blue professional bars, sign of weakness, fall into a downtrend, and it's just continued down and down. Very strong move on the downside. Soybeans, I tried to play long, I think, the soybeans this week, got taken out at stop. But anyway, here we go. Shouldn't have done it, and it was a nasty move on the way down. Not actually sure which break it was. Was it this one that I thought looked good, and maybe we were going to bust up through there and change of trend, but I was too early and taken out in the stop, and that was dumb. But anyway, it's continued on the way down. No blue professional bars. Exhaustion sells, which is something, but no blue professional bars yet in soybeans. And lastly, wheat. Again, wheat got destroyed this week. There's the super high average trade size 2 weeks ago into those highs. Rainbow patterns right at the high, sign of weakness, and then bang, we're into downtrends here. So no blue professional bars yet on the lows. We have a little bit of activity here, but that's not enough. Anyway, so there we go. A lot of information in that video. I apologize for that. I'm actually going to tack on some of my commentary from Friday at midday as well to see if you're interested in that. Let's see. We're going to battle it out the first few days of this week. Volatile because people won't be able to believe that the low might be in. There'll be some moves down to freak people out and so on. That is normal. Market never moves in one direction for too long, and we had a strong move on Friday afternoon. Anyway, we'll see. I hope your trading is going well, and I'm looking forward to next week's trade. Hope you are too. Okay, I recorded this video on Friday, 28th February 2025, just gone 12:30 p.m. Chicago time, and got all my signals going off in my ear. So just gone long. The Emini, we've just had super important low being made. So let me just show you that 13,500 2-bar chart. So here we go. 13th. Sorry about that. All these signals going off my in my earphones. So we just broke the overnight low, and the blue professional bars have come in here. This whole move might be over now on the downside. So this is the beginning of this week's activity. Solid vertical yellow line, that's the beginning of the prior week. And this whole thing set off where we had blue professional up bars into the highs. That's what that blue box kind of shows, little thing I'm kind of tinkering with on the better indicators. But then as soon as we have a sign of weakness after that, we get a signal like here, just a confirmation that we're now in a downtrend. The background's in grey. So we're heading to the downside, and this is the first time that we've had blue professional bars coming on the lows to mirror that activity. So yes, we've had blue professional bars kind of here ramping up into rainbow patterns. When we initially this week stopped at a rainbow pattern, went to a rainbow to rainbow channel. So amateurs getting wrong-footed going short here and then going long here at this point. We tested kind of into those lows down here, but the blue professional bars didn't come in on the lows. All they were doing was ramping it up into this activity. And this is killing fields between here and here, where they're just using all of this activity backwards and forwards to get people kind of freaked out and to get into short positions, ready for the next leg down as soon as we break that low there. That's super important. The move kind of speeds up. And amateur up bars at this point here, so it's weak rally there, and then blue professional bars on the way down come in here, so you can see. There we go, blue professional bars, that blue professional down bar into those lows. I think the overnight low was something like 57 on the way down here. Yep, 57. And as soon as that got broken, all hell broke out. We had a huge amount of volatility. We're using all of that volatility to get long. And the lows down here, I think we had about 48.50, 48. 48.50, 48.50, yeah, so 48 was the low down here, and then we've just rallied from there. So it's a mirroring image. Blue professional up bars into a high, blue professional down bars into a low, and on the same time frame chart, that kind of shows all the professionals getting short here, and now closing out positions getting long at this point here. In terms of cyclical patterns on this 13,500 tip bar chart, it's pretty important as well. Pullback to end of trend on the highest time frame, left shoulder being made by pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, then pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, showing the shoulder and a head, inverted kind of shoulder and head move down here, and this cyclically is a place where you'd find kind of exhaustion. Going down to the 4,500 tip bar chart, again big blue professional bars kind of coming here because that was at the next highest time frame. There we had a little bit of a similar patterns kind of going on here, blue professional down bars, but it wasn't until they hit on the highest time frame that things have really kind of turned around. So it's not turned into an uptrend at the moment here. We need to close above this 75 level to get this thing going, reverse into the opposite direction, but I think that's just a matter of time now. We could see a nice 2-hour rally into the close. So what is it, 12:30 at the moment? Yeah, 2 hour and a bit kind of rally into the close. Could get pretty exciting as that low kind of signals. And yeah, pull back to end of trend on this time frame, on the highest time frame here, showing that same activity that we had on the lower time frame. Let me go to bang bang bang. The Emini charts on the day trading time frame. So the 500 tip bar chart, 1500 tip bar chart. So here we go. This latest move down here into the 48s, whole bunch of blue professional bars coming out the lows. We get a signal, sign of strength here. Gives me a secondary signal here because it just shows that we had blue professional down bars into the lows there, and that's why that's given me a confirmation kind of signal of that pattern. We're at 77s now. This is nice. And then on the lowest time frame chart, yeah, here we go. A couple of false signals on the lowest time frame chart here, but all these blue professional bars. We had a nice signal here from the highs where we were testing into those highs there. Blue professional up bars at that point, sign of weakness, and bang, fall into a downtrend. A couple of false moves here, but this rally is really starting to get interesting. So we're up at 80s, having bottomed, and yeah, who knows where this is going to go. Could go right into the close, but it'll be a nice kind of move. So there we go, an important day, kind of midday on Friday. I'll kind of follow up in a couple of hours time or in a few minutes time, just with another video to see kind of how far we get. So hope your trading is going well today. Explosive move. Okay, just gone 3:05 p.m. Close of the day. Unbelievable. We hit 70, 59.70. Unbelievably strong short covering rally. Everybody kind of jumping on board because they realize the downtrend is over. And if you can do it, holding to the close is always the best play. And sitting through the volatility and not taking profits. I'm too quick to take profits, but this is where it went. So on the day there was the low, big pro bars on the lows, confirmed, sign of strength after the professionals coming on the way down. And what was the high? The actual high, 71. Exhaustion buy there. This will probably, there's a little bit of squaring off at the end of the week, end of Friday at the moment, but this is going to set the tone for next week. So, and on the lower time frames, like the 1500 tip bar chart, there we go. That was the low 48, where we got our sign of strength confirmed, and then we didn't break into a downtrend, which was good. So although we had a couple of flips on the Pro-Am indicator, they didn't get sign of weakness. They didn't get confirmed. The lows didn't get broken here or here. We didn't see arrows, white arrows down. We just got confirmed arrows up, and there's all the professionals kind of taking profits. So it's interesting that it's not, well, I've got this switched off at the end of the day for the pro bars, because at the end of the close, 10 minutes to 3, start kind of just not calculating the professional bars up here, but that's what's going on. All the professionals are kind of active at the moment at the end of the day. Unbelievable move from, what is that, 48? I have to do mentally the gymnastics here. So 120 points, is that? I don't know. Yeah, holy cow. Anyway, low is in.